Lost the die roll, first mistake. Magic's a lot easier when you win the die roll. Magic is much easier when you win the die roll. Opponent doesn't appear to be here. Joined the match and walked away. Oh, we got him. This hand's pretty good, chat. Hand is pretty good. Pretty good. What's going on, Aaron? It's got turn 1/4/4. Got turn 1/4/4 most likely. Infinity. Okay. Oh lordy. Am I supposed to cycle these first? Because if I cycle these, I could hit Faithless Looting or another Street Wraith or an Edge of Autumn and get guaranteed double hollowed one. I think we're supposed to go for the try and go for the guaranteed double hollowed one here. This also could potentially put more graveyard based cards in our hand. Well, we lost a hollowed one. We discarded 2 cards we kind of wanted to keep, but it's not the end of the world. The end of the world. God, we drew the 3rd one, and I was like, oh lordy. We unfortunately didn't take anything good away from them there. We're just super dead now. Just super dead. Why did we discard the Bloodghast? Asking the real questions. I actually just can't beat this card, right? Pretty sure we're just dead. Alright, let's move on. Probably about all I needed to not play this deck at a real event. Alright, these cards are great. We're trimming Goblin Lores and a Flamewake Phoenix. Nah, Dino, we'll get some good ones in today. We'll get some good ones in today. I just trim these Edge of Autumns. Those are like a freebie. 2 4/4s turn 1, not enough. Welcome to Modern. There was a deck list that 7-1'd one of the PTQs that had three Edge of Autumns at the Mox or something. So I had 7-1 something, I had 3 Edge of Autumns. I was like, this looks great, let's try it. Maybe I want to trim a Street Wraith actually, since they're an aggressive deck. Leave an extra Edge of Autumn. Let's try that. I don't know, chat. I don't know the answers. I don't have the answers. Ian just doesn't do anything, right? Like plays 1/2s and then doesn't do anything. Sure. I'm gonna bottom batch, looking for Faithless Looting. I'm gonna lead on the Stomping Ground here. We could lose the Blood Crypt, but this is the only green source in our deck, so I don't want to lose the only green source in my deck. Potentially so I can't flash back my Ancient Grudges. So I think it's worth putting the Stomping Ground into play there. That seems really sweet, Andrew. Should we do that today? I guess I can do that today. The person that donated just specified fair blue moon. They didn't specify what the win conditions had to be. I tweeted a picture with Chandra's and your Hulks. Relic of Progenitus. That's actually kind of a beating for us because we had exactly enough cards in our discard pile to play this Gurmag Angler. Now we don't. Alright, ding. Watch us lose both the Gurmag Anglers. Ooh, we kept the Gurmag Angler. We're so lucky. So lucky. Look at all the work we did to play a 5/5. Look at all of the work we have done to play a 5/5. Yeah, it seems neat. Because Wizards of the Coast doesn't pay people enough money for me to work for them. This is the actual answer. Maybe our 5/5 will be good enough. Nope, dead. Ancient Grudge. It is Bionic Broccoli's donation deck, so you're cool with that? If we do some funsies and we give that a go? I think I'm just gonna try and hit enough stuff here to play this Gurmag Angler. God, that felt terrible. Man, life decisions are thoroughly regretted currently. Alright, let's try another match, shall we? This might be a first for good quick league to burn. What are you thinking on the split? Do we want to adjust anything? We'll look at the Blue Moon deck after this league. After this league, we're gonna play Blue Moon second, so maybe we'll try Thing Reveler, Blue Moon next. Try Thing Reveler, Blue Moon next. Well, Reveler's also awkward in multiples, so like it feels to me like it's probably like a 4-3 split in favor of Thing or like a 3-3 split down the middle. Also, bouncing your Snapcaster Mages with Thing in the ice is kind of just like starting to like the nuts. I mean, yep, this is the hand. Honestly, I could even see, like, you have enough cantrips in the deck that, like, if you're playing 8 cantrips, maybe even just, like, 2 Revelers is enough, because, like, with 4 Opt and 4 Serum Visions, you see a lot of cards. I'm pretty sure this is just a fetch Blood Crypt, and you just Flameblade Adept on 1 all the time here. Because remember, if you Flameblade Adept on 1 and then Burning Inquiry on 2, we're going to get to smack them for 4 on turn 2, which is pretty good. This is an aggro deck at heart. It has, like, combo-y draws, but this is an aggro deck at its core. I'm just playing, that's the split that the deck that was played at the Pro Tour played, so I don't really have an informed opinion on it. I would almost, my gut says you would almost prefer to be playing, like you'd rather play Tasigur than Angler, but Tasigur being legendary means it's not worthwhile, so I can see that being the case. No, I couldn't tell you what SpaceX was without Googling it. So opponent's probably playing Valakut Titan off of these discards. We'll start on looting here. See what we get. Maybe I was supposed to start on the looting instead of the Burning Inquiry because then I'm guaranteed to be able to bin the Bloodghast. Then I'd have a Bloodghast in play right now. The good news is I get to cast this and smack them for 6 this turn, so like we got a pretty quick clock here. Yeah, but like speaking as someone who's played a lot of those style of decks in modern Hoppa, like a lot of the time you just aren't really doing, like your hand gets empty a lot of the time anyways because the games grind out. So then like I could see maybe not I could see maybe not playing 3, maybe just playing 2 copies of Reveler is correct, but like I think some number of them seems really sweet. Alright, play this. This brings Bloodghast back. They have Sweltering Suns next turn. We might be in a little bit of trouble. I don't know. We're smacking them to 9 here, which means my Bloodghast is going to have haste that comes back next turn. You can't block my Flameblade Adept opponent. The Jackal, it's very menacing. Jackal, roar, roar. Look, in the defense of my opponent, no one's ever really read this card until they've played against this deck for the first time. Sweltering Suns. He's just a 4-power guy, though, so it's not the worst. We'll lead on Faithless Looting here, just in case we hit another Bloodghast. You can also hit birds. Look at that. Just the smartest, thinnest Magic streamer there ever was. Floop this right into play here. Alright, smash you for 8. Next question. I wonder why Valakut Titan was one of the worst performing decks at the Pro Tour. I wonder. Oh, I wonder, ooh, I do, why does Valakut suck? It makes me so happy that Valakut is a terrible deck right now, because Valakut tends to crap on everything I love in Modern. Really easy and easy out here. 4 bolts out, 2 Blood Moon, 2 Brutality in. Yeah, it seems fine. Not amazing, but it's fine. We hit a Street Wraith, it's the nut. Seems very good with the Street Wraith. Collective Brutality. And 1 Relic, that's a rude opponent. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this. Put an extra card in my bin. I'm gonna go ahead and looting here. Stuff going on. Alright, so I think I'm gonna bin Bloodghast plus a land here. And then like next turn, I could go looting into Hollowed One, bring back Bloodghast potentially. Because they're gonna have to crack their relic to deny me the Bloodghast potentially. Yeah, I don't plan to cast the Bloodghast. No, I'm not going to play JAC. I knew my decisions were going to be based on like what did well at the Pro Tour, and too many of these 8x discard decks, which are just tough matchups. Like, there's a reason why Storm did really poorly at the Pro Tour, and the other linear decks did really poorly at the Pro Tour. Like, decks like this one that are a little bit more resilient to the piles of discard and spot removal are much better choices. So this is actually something I could see myself playing. Realistically, I'm probably going to end up registering some amount of Bedlam Reveler, because the people that don't realize that card's Treasure Cruise like are kind of silly. We're gonna try a Bedlam. We're gonna try 2 different Bedlam Reveler decks after this league today. We're gonna try in a Blue Moon Shell, and we're gonna try it in. We're gonna try in what else was the other? We're gonna try it in Blue Moon, and I'm gonna try it in a Traverse package. Wait, why did they spend? Oh, they suspended a search. Okay, so it's my turn. That's an amazing draw. It's an amazing draw, so I get to go ahead and play this. Actually, I'm gonna start by playing this land and see if I get my Bloodghast back. Let's start with that. Can I have my Bloodghast opponent? Love my Bloodghast. Thank you. Let's cast this Faithless Looting. Bin this bird. Bin this Stomping Ground. I don't have, what's it called, my deck, Ancient Grudge. Okay. Have you heard about my bird? I said a bird. My bird's a bird. I said a bird. So, Hey, Iron Guthix with the 100 bits. Cheers for Ape Dredge if we get time today. Can you play Stub? That's a good question, actually. Like a reasonable question. So this is an interesting point. Do I want to play and try and get back the Phoenix? I think I actually just want to delve my entire yard here and just like make their relic embarrassing. Can't do that, JK. Can't do that, JK. Now my opponent knows I have a delve card. I'm one off there. This is, and someone was asking about Tasigur earlier. This is why Tasigur is better. Like if this was a Tasigur, I'd have been able to play the Tasigur there. So I actually think Tasigur is better than Gurmag Angler in this deck a lot of the time. But you just can't afford the risk of having multiple of them, which is unfortunate from our end. I do not. I don't really play much Paper Magic anymore. You want to show? Yep. They're going to 4 lands here. If they go to 5, I'm probably supposed to Collective Brutality them. They are not going to 5. That's good for us. All right, so let's start with Goblin Lore. Start with Goblin Lore. What we get? Lost my Gurmag. Didn't get to put the Flamewake in. That could have gone better. Definitely could have gone better there. Should have paid red to see if Moto screws up because you couldn't use it anyways. There's the real angle right there. So they're at 13 here. Oh, they have Search coming off of Suspend here. We could die to a Titan here. Could die to a Titan here. Hopefully they don't have just a natural 6 land, and then we get to Collective Brutality them next turn, plus flip this bird into play. That's unfortunate for us. Hour of Promise? Nope, it is in fact a Big Daddy Titan. It turns out being on the draw is a little bit too slow against relics. Who's surprised? Who's surprised? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pack it in. So we ain't about trying to grind it out. I guess I could have attacked here and then like tried to brutality at post combat, but that seems real loose. Seems pretty loose. We have to be on the play for this next game. That's pretty good for our deck that just wants to flip a bunch of heads. It's pretty good for a deck that just wants to flip a bunch of heads. I mean, that's not true. Their deck isn't even 50% lands. They needed to actually have a land there. A ramp spell meant they probably would have died. This game just doesn't do anything really, right? I guess it's... So play this. Faithless Looting bins 2. There's like a turn 3 Gurmag Angler. That doesn't seem fast enough. I guess I hit them for 3 on 1 here. Have I talked myself into this? I'm gonna keep it because I have the Flameblade Adept on 1. You can see this going either way. Yeah, Faithless Looting, like, it's like Brainstorm Rage. It's like Sculpture Hand into whatever you want it to be. Hit like some Bloodghast or some birds, be in a pretty good spot. What's going on, Frenzied Mage? 6 for the bits. I mean, Looting did a pretty good selection, Brainstorm Impersonation, and Legacy yesterday for us, so... It's annoying, but not the end of the world. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Good pickup. About the sequencing and there being blood moons in my deck. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually cast Gurmag this turn, right? Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could cast... We can cast Gurmag this turn, right? I have a third Blood Crypt in here. I deal with their Blood Crypt. Do I want to crack this fetch? No, I probably want exact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. Yeah, this has to get Blood Crypt. A fetch before edge, just in case we draw the last Blood Crypt. Nice relic on the draw, though. Really, seriously, good card, good card. That's kind of sweet. Alright, play my 5/5. Attack you for 4. I'm down a land, but I'm winning where it counts. Am I supposed to cycle the Street Wraith there? Probably. I don't know, we're gonna draw a hollowed one, I'm gonna be sad, but like if we don't draw exactly hollowed one, cycling the Street Wraith isn't very appealing because they have this in play. I guess it adds extra point of damage too. No, because they just tap the relic and nick whatever we put in there. Yeah, so like getting extra card in my discard pile didn't really matter. Yeah. If this wasn't in play, I'd have cycled the Wraith like hands down. Not close. Would have cycled the Wraith if this card wasn't here. So I wouldn't have hit this anyways. Unfortunately, can't cast that. So I guess we just do this and then smash for 7 here. And then if we hit a land, they'll be dead next turn, right? Because we just go Flamewake Phoenix, bring back my Bloodghast, kill you. They're actually dead on board. I'm assuming they have a Sweltering Suns here. Like, they kept their hand for a reason. So I guess the relic could be the reason they kept their hand. So maybe they're just dead. And like, this game is a great example of like why this deck's like more appealing to me than Dredge is. Because like, our opponent, if they would have played this relic on one, a Dredge deck wouldn't have been able to do anything, right? Or like, most of our Dredge hands wouldn't have been able to do anything. But like, this deck's just like, alright, I'm gonna cast my Gurmag Angler. Oh, Bolt plus Suns. That's really... Bolt plus Anger. Good lord. Alright, I lied. We're dead. I lied. We're dead. Okay. Good chat. Good chat. They drew their sideboard cards. Modern's tough. Alright. Search. Resolves. Yeah, we're gonna get to Blue Moon sooner rather than later, it appears. And we're dead. Oh, I could cycle Hollowed one? Yeah, I guess that's fair. No, it's cool. I knew I was gonna draw Street Wraith into land there, so I kept it. It's like we drew it up, Chad. I just don't really have time to fit Hex into my schedule right now, BDP. I understand it's going to lose me some subs, but we've picked up so many Magic subs that it's just like, it's hard to justify devoting time back to Hex. Yeah, unfortunately, the bird is going to be one-shotted. And we're dead. Good stuff. Alright, we tried. Yeah, the Dex resistance to Graveyard Hate is sweet. Someone tweeted a build at me of this deck that has Prized Amalgam in it, which is Jacob. Let's bah more quietly, shall we? Thanks everyone for hanging out, watching us get dumpstered while we cast some Goblin Lores and some Burning Inquiries. We're gonna play some lower variance decks for the later parts of the stream today. We're gonna try a Blue Moon Shell. We're gonna try some Traverse. Do you want more crackers? Can you get your bowl? I would love to play first. I guess it's pretty good, right? This is actually kind of sweet because we could potentially go Flameblade into Burning Inquiry, floop Flamewake Phoenix back into play turn 2, which is kind of awesome. I mean, I've cast like what, 2 edges? I don't think if you're of the opinion that like from the games you've watched me play you have a realistic feeling of how edges is in this deck, you're just either an idiot or don't understand how to like that's not a relevant sample size. Like, idiot was harsh and that was slightly rude of me, but like that's like typical TCG player, like you don't get the we need to like do actual testing for this to be a thing. Like, all right, am I gonna cycle the Street Wraith here? Yeah, probably. See what we get. Get another trigger here. Goblin Lore. I don't know what I want to do here or not. I probably just want a Burning Inquiry, right? This is our third match with the decks. There was a list. Edge of Autumn is not an innovation of just we are not lucky enough to play this deck today. Edge of Autumn is not my own innovation. Someone that 7-1'd one of the Mox events had 3 Edges of Autumn in their deck, so I wanted to try it. Slab second Inquiry. Yeah, that was my feelings. Hopefully this Goblin Lore could ditch these birds and then hit us another land next turn. I hope you have a turn 3 Karn and die in the blaze that is my Flameblade Adept opponent. I think Esper Gorios is like a shitty Death Shadow deck. You like jump through all of these really complicated hoops in order to like put a 5/5 into play when you could just jump through very minimal hoops and put a 1-mana 10/10 into play. I don't see the appeal of the Esper deck as opposed to just playing a Death Shadow deck. I feel like the Death Shadow deck does what the Gorios deck wants to be doing, but in a less cute manner, but it's just like more powerful. Alright, so this land means I'm going to play this before I Goblin Lore. This punishes me if I put a Bloodghast in the bin, but it rewards me for having a guaranteed land if I ditch a... I did put a Bloodghast in the bin, and we hit another land, so a little bit punished there. Not too bad, though. Next turn I get to actually flashback Faithless Looting, and then ditch these 2 and then floop them into play. So that feels good. Nice Tron deck, opponent. Nice Tron deck. We got them dead through Wormcoil since we have this Flamewake in my hand. All right, you're gonna get banned. Maybe a ban source. Nah, I'm gonna ban them. So the way this chat works is if you want to state an opinion like that, and I'm open, I love opinions, they're great, but you have to say they're underwhelming because, and then use your words like the adult that you hopefully are and articulate yourself as to why they were underwhelming. That's what we hope and expect from people in this chat. How are you not dead? Hopefully you're dead. Maybe they're just like hoping to floop into a Wormcoil and then not be dead on the ground. But my Flameblade Adept has Menace, opponent, which means you're actually dead on board with the Faithless Looting in my graveyard. Actually dead on board. Basically, that's basically what Twitch chat boils down to. And this deck might be, like, the Edges of Autumn might be terrible. But the actual answer is that just, like, spewing they're bad isn't, like, useful or helpful for anyone. So just, you know, don't do it. I think I'm just cutting 2 bolts and bringing in 2 Blood Moons here. I think that's all I want to do. I could like bring in Big Game Hunter or Collective Brutality or Ancient Grudge or something over these other bolts, but just having a little bit of reach sounds fine, I think. None of these other cards are particularly impressive. Like, bolt's not good, but like, I think it's like not anywhere as on like it's similar levels of awkward as the rest of these cards. I'm not an adult, do I still need to use my words? What's usually in the place of the Edge of Autumn? So, comparing this to the PT deck list, there is a 4th Goblin Lore, and they played 2 copies of Collective Brutality in their main deck. So, that's the difference. Yeah, Grudge is okay. It's a little bit awkward that we can't flash it back if we Blood Moon them, but if we Blood Moon them, maybe we're winning the game anyways. Which makes it tough. What's going on, Tuhei? Glad you're here. Yeah, it's just, you know, to encourage, like, intelligent, non-Reddit levels of discourse. There's enough, like, posturing and monkeys flinging shit on the internet that my chat doesn't need to consist of those things. From what I understood, the Japanese team did mostly minor shooting lists. Yes, that is my understanding from what the Japanese team did as well. So I'm going to top the Street Wraith, because if we find a hollowed one with this Faithless Looting or the Street Wraith, it lets us put them into play for free. So I want to try... Would you ban me if I said Edge of Autumn is great? Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about that. So I'm going to ditch this. I'm going to ditch a land, because I don't really need those at this point. I'm going to cycle this. Hollowed one, please. Tilt. All right. Rest it in my lap? Do that. This hand is probably going to be a little bit too slow. This hand cannot beat a Karna or Wormcoil on 3, like our last one did because we were on the play. Being on the play is really good, turns out. Who'd have thunk? Do you want to sit behind me? That's what you want? You want to sit behind me? You know, this chair is intended for one person, Jacob. I could cycle the edge, but then I can't play the bird this turn, so I'm just gonna wait. I think if you think Surgical is good because of Burning Inquiry, you don't understand, like you're not bringing in Surgical against random things. Like that's not how you do it. Judge casting Hollow on turn 1 a little easier. Punches. Much that brutality means you're a little bit worse against birds. Spell based. I like the theory of it makes it a little bit more aggressive and consistent. I like you. Yeah, I agree. Like we had a turn earlier where like we were able to punch the Gurmag Angler in through a Relic of Progenitus. That was just like, it would have been game winning if they hadn't had Bolt plus Anger, right? So like that little bit of extra kick, especially with your Delve threats, also seems very potent. What I feel about Lantern winning the Pro Tour. I think, you know, Lantern's a deck that appeals to some people, just like some people like their soda pre-shaken. You know, some people like watching their can of soda explode when they open it. Other people, they just want to, you know, drink a nice cool beverage when they crack that pop top. Magic's great because it appeals to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. And just because I think Lantern is miserable and awful doesn't necessarily mean everybody thinks Lantern is miserable and awful. Hey, let's not yell. Let's not yell. Shake it, soda with the bits. Hey, you did a tweet on Tron is good to the position at the meta moment. I was thinking about it actually based on the meta PT. Hollowed one can be fast. If you lose the roll, you're quite dead. Tron versus Lantern is winnable from Tron. Tron versus Lantern is very bad for Lantern. If you should play the Tron versus Lantern matchup more. That the Lantern matchup is a big reason to play. The Lantern matchup is a big reason that Tron is well positioned. In addition to it being good against a lot of the mid-range decks that people are playing. Modern is a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Nomad 182 with the 2-month resubscription. Thanks a lot. Welcome back, bud. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that. All right, so let's fetch a Blood Crypt here, and then let's see how professional we're gonna be today, chat. Do we keep the hollowed ones? Do we keep the hollowed ones? Woo! We get the hollowed ones, chat. We get the hollowed ones, chat. Cast my hollowed one. Cast my hollowed one. This is how they did it at the Pro Tour, chat. So I know I'm doing it right. I know I'm doing it right because I watched them do this at the Pro Tour. Is there a third hollowed one in my future? Rats, we're so unlucky there wasn't a third hollowed one. Just the gosh darn unluckiest. Oh baby, oh baby. Tron does beat Lantern. So Tron has the 8-star and sphere effects that allow it to see more cards. They have Ancient Stirrings, Oblivion Stone is good, Karn is good, World Breaker is good, Ulamog is good. We need to turn. Hey, this is much too loud. Your sheep are far too loud. They're louder than you are, and that's saying something. That's impressive. Because you're very loud for a tiny child. His hogland is so unlucky. At least you understand where I'm coming from. Just the gosh darn unluckiest. So next turn, we're gonna hit them for 11. And then they're gonna be dead through a Wormcoil or a Karn. Hey, Cheesy Pie Gaming, thanks for being here. I appreciate the support. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube content. So you get to floop this Bloodghast into play here. You get to floop the Flamewake into play here. Yes, I would love to pay a red mana for this. We get to get our smashy on. The most relevant thing for Tron v Lantern is that Chromatic Stir draws a card as part of the mana ability. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Yep. All right, we're on the scoreboard, chat. We're on the scoreboard. Turns out, when you're lucky, this deck is great. I actually think this deck is, like, actually pretty good. It had one of the best conversion rates at the Pro Tour, so it's definitely got some variance-powered cards in here, but, like, most Magic decks have variance-powered cards, right? When you think about it at the end of the day, is Goblin Lore or Burning Inquiry really any more random than, like, Collected Company? Which is, like, a card we've played in Modern for, well, forever. This hand has a turn 2 Gurmag Angler, right? This is 1, 2... 3, 4, 5 cards in my bin. So, yep, we're going to keep the turn 2 Gurmag Angler. If we hit like a Street Wraith, we could turn 2 Angler plus Floop the Phoenix into play. Which is pretty appealing. A Grixis version in Legacy. That might be stretching it. Like, the power level of things that you need to be doing in Legacy is like, you have to be interactive in Legacy or super fast. I don't think you're quite fast enough with what you're describing. GK Anderson Smith, Burning Inquiry is Collected Company for your opponent's hand. Ain't that the truth? Thank you and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. So we're definitely bidding this Flamewake Phoenix. The question is, do I want to bid a land or this extra Gurmag Angler as the second card? I want to discard this Gurmag Angler because I'm just not going to have time to cast you this game. They banned all the fast mana cards. Did you include Delve Threats in that? I think the actual problem with Delve Threats in Modern is Street Wraith. I think the Delve Threats are pretty fine on their own in the abstract, but Street Wraith is the card that kind of puts them over the top. Alright, this is a reason to have kept the second Gurmag Angler dog kind of up shit creek without a paddle. That's pretty bad. I guess I should have thought about this, maybe been to land. I don't know why. They went Steam Vents Pass, and, like, I put them on Storm. Yeah, Thought Scour at least has a mana cost. Thought Scour has a mana cost that doesn't go at everything. God, I'm just such a goddamn professional. Can we just talk about my professionalism here for a moment? Just everyone appreciate it. How good I am at Magic the Gathering. Can you just like take it and soak it in here for a moment? And the fact that they thought seized us just like means I get to keep this Flamewake Phoenix in my crypt too. That's so good. All right, go. Your move, Kaiba. Your move. My opponent said, haha, typical when I cast the Gurmag Angler. And my response was, I'm playing a very skillful deck. It doesn't resemble gambling at all. No, he just stopped responding when he talked himself into a corner. Yeah, just stopped responding. He was like, Jund doesn't play Bedlam Reveler. And I was like, well, Jund's not a deck. And then he's like, well, Mardu is Jund. I was like, so then Jund plays Bedlam Reveler? Like, what's your point? Where do we go with this? I'm so confused. There's a big fish of their own, sure. Another bird. Have you heard about my bird? I said a bird. My bird's a word. I said a bird. Am I supposed to hold on to this? Or am I supposed to just cast it? I'm gonna hold on to it. Let's just floop the bird from my discard pile and play it. Slightly less mana efficient, but it's technically better in terms of card advantage, right? Yeah, Flamewake is very good. Yes, correct. Apart from later tonight on this stream, because I think it's probably worth trying to splash. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out, right? Honestly, I would not be surprised if one of the answers in Modern is that your red decks in this format are supposed to include Faithless Looting Bedlam Reveler. No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna be... I think even if they felt they wanted to ban things, they're going to not ban things in this upcoming update just to like prove a point that they're not going to ban something after every Modern Pro Tour. Why not offer a trade on the Anglers? I don't know. Are they dead? They dead if they don't block? Oh, they're gonna have to block, right? Yeah, this is the reason not to, because they just take the hit and then have a giant shadow. Yeah, but like, cards that slot easily into decks isn't a reason to ban them in Modern. That's not a reason. Like, Modern is full of cards that slot easily into decks. Should we ban Lightning Bolt? Is that a card that should be banned? So if they have another TBR, or if they have... So they have to chump block here. I wonder if I'm supposed to not play the bird there, so I could, like, hope they take 7 and then kill them with the lightning bolt? Oh, that's how damage works with Death Shadow. Right, I knew that somewhere on a fundamental level that was going to happen, but I guess it's, you know, it's different to see it in practice. I knew on a fundamental, somewhere in my mind that knew what was happening was going to happen, but that's fine. That's fine, yep. That's not good for me. It's not good for me. I mean, I get to trade for their thing, right? That's kind of a reason to attack with it. You can kill my thing in response. Snapcaster stub, I assume, here. Oh, Magic is such a skillful game. It's such a skillful game. Have you heard about my bird? I said a bird. Bird's a word. I said a bird. Have you heard about my bird? I said a bubba. The argument on stirrings that impose the deck building. So, like, I would buy the deck building restrictions from Ancient Stirrings, except for the fact that, like, no one looks at their deck and goes, I can't play this Thragtusk in my Tron deck because I might miss with Ancient Stirrings. Like, the decks that are playing Ancient Stirrings are playing Ancient Stirrings because they can. They're not changing their deck to allow them to play Ancient Stirrings. This is like a really clean swap, right? It's just like 4 bolts out, 2 fatal push, 2 big game hunter in. Yes, they get to play it. It's not that they're working to. I don't know if this is a Nihil Spellbomb matchup or not. I could see the argument going either way, but I almost don't want to cut anything else from my deck right now to dilute my game plan. I think it's just this maybe it's better than this Edge of Autumn. I could see that being a swap. Like, trade some of these out. I don't think this is a Blood Moon matchup. Like, it makes my black spells hard to cast, so I don't think that's appealing. I'm gonna go 2. Let's go 2. Split the difference here. Just like good old non-committal coward split. When in doubt, split them. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Nothing. Like the old turn 1 double 4/4s. I think it's comical that Bloodbraid Elf is banned in Modern. Comical is the words I would use. My poor Burning Inquiry. Too pure for this world, Burning Inquiry. Too pure. Too good for it. Just couldn't stand to be part of the world anymore. So persecuted by the Inquisition. I think Jace is less likely to happen than Stoneforge and Bloodbraid Elf are. That's so sad. Discard spells. Is this the kind of deck you'd bring to a Papal Tournament? No, no way. Magic is gambling enough without playing this deck. Our hand's pretty rancid at this point. We basically need a Burning Inquirer or a Goblin Lore or Faithless Looting to make this hand happen. I guess I just... Maybe I was supposed to cycle the Hollowed one there for a point of damage. Yeah, I was probably supposed to cycle. I think I'm cycling Hollowed one, so I should have just gotten my point of damage in. I mean, people have been saying the Bloodbraid Elf's an easy unban for like years, right? Like it still hasn't happened. I think I think it's probably okay to be conservative with Jace. The power level on that card is really strong, but like Stoneforge Mystic is not a cracked in half magic card in comparison to the things that are legal in Modern, especially without Umezawa's GT. Like Umezawa's GT is the card that really pushes that over the top, and that's just not a card that sees play. Right on time, Nihil Spellbomb. Right on time. Right where we wanted it. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic is banned for like the same reason like Wild the Cut, all these other cards were banned, right? Like it was too good in formats past, and now like it's paying the price here for it. Yeah, I think it makes sense to have a path for cards to be introduced directly into Modern without putting them into Standard. Like that's fine for Legacy, I think it would be fine for Modern. Stubbed my Nihil Spellbomb. That feels like I have a Snapcaster or a second stubber to dial. I have a ban. I don't need that. You don't need that bad logic here. It's a 3-for-1. Look at this card my opponent just cast. Tell me how. I'll tell you what. I'll unban you if you can explain to me how your Stoneforge Mystic is a 3-for-1 against a call against command. Explain. Use your words like a big kid. Tell me how your Stoneforge Mystic is a 3-for-1 against call against command. Oh, and if you're counting your 1-2 left over as a body after they shatter your Batter Skull, like, let me tell you about a 1-2 not being a real Magic card in Modern. If we would have hit the land last turn, we could have jammed the Flamewake Phoenix down their throat. Our mana being a little bit of a sad panda this game. A little bit of a sad panda. Take game 3 on the play. Yeah, I'm just gonna put the Edge of Audibit for just like maximum derps here on the play. Like put the pedal to the metal, fire it up. Yeah, I could have had another Delph card. You say something, Burgle? Did I miss it? Okay, bro, column 1. Eldritch Evolution and Gristlebrand or Iona. That's funny. Could we do that? Is that a thing we could do? That sounds great. We could also Faithless Looting them away when we draw them. That sounds quite excellent, actually. Guess he just doesn't do enough. Much better, chat. Stands much better, chat. All right, I need everyone to channel your energy. We're gonna keep our hollowed one, and they're gonna discard their only 2 lands. Magic isn't gambling at all. Magic is a game of skill. Magic is a game of skill. Please let us be skillful. Please let us be skillful. Gosh, we're so good at Magic. Just kept the hollowed one, drew a Gurmag Angler. Just the professional Magic the Gathering player here. Also, like, Abraid's a card that was printed fairly recently. I think that card's very main deckable. I think that card is very, very reasonable. Have a Dismember here? Sure. Rats! Okay. I guess I'll just play this Gurmag Angler. Probably Burning Inquiry again here as well. Yeah, Gurmag Angler's a 7-drop, Burgle. Come on, now go to program. We're kind of dead here, aren't we? It feels like we're dead here. Touch of variance. Just, yeah, it's a teensy bit of variance. What can we Evo Bedlam Reveler into? There's the real thought process. What can we Evo Bedlam Reveler into? Did we just mull to 3 with, we did. We're dead, right? I'm so off this deck. The Japanese players are far better Magic players than I am, or they're luckier with Burning Inquiry. Probably a healthy mix of the two, really. Alright, Blood Boon. Blue Boon. Alright, we're gonna change this up. I think we're gonna try it as a Bedlam Reveler thing in the ice deck. I think I need to change the diaper really quick, though. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna play a bunch more Magic today. We're hanging out, folks.